Andy, as far as you're concerned, as far as this Super Bowl, are you approaching it differently with all the different injury information we've been seeing this week?
Yeah, you got to take the injuries into consideration. And, obviously I am too. Last year, I thought I had a pretty good read on the Super Bowl. And I got to tell you, I thought the Odell injury changed the entire complexion of that game. And I thought it changed a lot of props. Obviously, Odell was one of them, but it changed the offense and it changed the defense. And so I'm just going to make sure that I am continuing on with low volume. It's worked really, really well throughout the NFL season. I mean, there were times where I would have, two plays, even though it was a full slate of games. So this is one game. What am I going to have 17 plays in one game? Absolutely not. So yeah, you wait on the injuries and then you attack some of the lines that you feel confident in. So I'd like to start going through some of these specific props and get your thoughts on this. First one, I see the Travis Kelsey prop has already moved 15 cents on DraftKings. It's minus 130 to score a touchdown. This thing you could have gotten at minus 115 when it opened up. Uh, Travis Kelsey in his last 14 playoff games has 15 touchdowns. The guy's he's an incredible touchdown machine in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts, you guys did a great job picking Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown, not necessarily to throw one, but just to score. He's minus 115, and the Eagles are the best at these short 1 yard sneaks where they just put a couple big guys behind Jalen Hurts and push him through. If the Eagles get down on the 1 yard line, I think it's almost a guarantee they're just going to run this play with Jalen Hurts sneaking into the end zone. So that one caught my attention. And then the other one that I was interested in taking a look at is it kind of goes against my style of handicapping, but I was interested in Isaiah Pacheco, not his rushing, but his receiving. I thought it very interesting that with a hobbled Mahomes, last week he caught 5 catches for like 59 yards. And this was not like one huge play that went for all of his yards. He was very involved in the passing game. I see his receiving yards right now is 13 and a half. Now, in the regular season, he did hardly nothing out of the passing game. So with this particular prop, I'm saying, well, do I believe in the game script carrying over from last week to this week, or do you go back to the regular season stats where he's not involved in the game and they have 2 weeks to prepare, and Mahomes is not going to be as hobbled? So, Matt, let's go to you. Throw out any props that you're looking at. I thought the movement on the Travis Kelsey was a fairly predictable move. I do like the Jalen Hurts minus 115 to score a touchdown on those quarterback sneaks. And then the Isaiah Pacheco receiving yards, 13 and a half was something that piqued my curiosity. What's been jumping out to you?
So, well, first off, the Hurts one, it's along the same lines. I'm looking at his rushing. I mean, it's the last game of the year, and also don't forget the third and ones, the fourth and ones. They're coming, and then if there's kneel downs at the end, that those are going to count for you at the end as well. The one that I was going to bring up with you guys, that it's a fascinating dichotomy. It's a one that every year we see in the Super Bowl is the first touchdown score jersey number, and it's over 11 and a half is even money, and the under 11 and a half is minus 130, or at least the one place I'm looking. And to me, it breaks down to this. It's the Chiefs running backs and the Eagles wide receivers and Jalen Hurts are the unders, and then the overs are like Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, Dallas Goedert, Travis Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes. So I'm interested in your guys' opinions here. Like, do you like the over at even money, but you're getting the tight ends? You're hoping for a touchdown that's not within like the 5 yard line, or do you like the under where you're getting Hurts who might sneak in, where you're getting McInnis and those guys, and you're getting the Eagles wide receiver? So Andrew, what do you think about that? The over 11 and a half or under 11 and a half for the touchdown scores jersey, the first one.
I mean, I don't know if I'll get involved in that, but I think, I mean, this is the thing. I expect a lot of you know tight touchdowns. I mean, I think you see a lot of you don't see as I don't expect to see as many bombs down the field, and so looking at those names that you mentioned there, I think I would look towards the under and looking forward towards it getting run in a lot more. I'd have to kind of scan through it more a little bit, Matt, to look at it. But did you say that the unders there would be for guys with lower numbers? Is that what it was?
So it's the jersey numbers from 11 to 1, so what that would be, it would be Hurts, it would be the
Right.
Chiefs running backs, the Eagles wide receivers. Those are the unders. The overs would be the tight ends, the Eagles running backs, Patrick Mahomes, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I guess we have to talk about now because he's no longer a fourth wide receiver, which, by the way, guys,
Yeah.
I know you're going to make fun of me for that, but when all three guys ahead of him get hurt, then he becomes the number one wide receiver.
All right. Well, I was gonna, and if this can just lead me into something I was gonna say there, to give me the Eagles running backs then, because one play I really like that I'll mention already this week or going into next week is Jalen Hurts under 31.5 pass attempts. I mean, I was a little bit surprised last week, pretty much having Sanders under and somehow cashing that. Obviously, the score of the game probably reflected that, but they have a lot of options out there. They've got a lot of guys that are going to run the ball. And you made a great point there, Matt, saying, you know what? It's the last game of the season. You 100% can bet that Jalen Hurts is going to be getting on his feet and moving as well. That adds to the running game. There's a lot of different guys out there that can run the ball. And I just feel like it's that typical Super Bowl feeling where it just has that everybody thinks it's going to be a shootout. Everyone thinks he's going to throw the ball 35 times. And I think this is going to be a strategic and smart, well planned game from the Eagles. And we could see a lot of action from the running game, from Jalen Hurts, and different things like that. So, Matt, do you have any, as an Eagles fan and someone that knows them very well, do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, I'm taking a look at that pretty closely. I haven't pulled trigger on it yet, but it's a play I like quite a bit.
Yeah, because I think it goes along with Hurts. I like his Hurts rushing attempts over, as I said, because I think I read the Chiefs have allowed the fourth most rushing attempts by quarterbacks. Now, here's the thing that's going to hurt that play. The Eagles have the best offensive line in football. So, and I'm not concerned about anybody outside of Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is the guy that's the biggest worry, and the Eagles are pretty solid up front to take care of him. So I don't think Hurts may run as much, but, I do think with this being the last game, he's going to get surgery no matter what, I'm guessing. So I think that's rather interesting. Andy, I got a question for you. Obviously, you're the music guy. Any early scouting report on this Chris Stapleton? I think the over-under is like 2 minutes and 1 second on his national anthem.
That I will start all my novelty props next week. I will start looking at some film and listen. We joke about it. I've been good on these singing props. I've been really good. We nailed the to not show cleavage last year. That was one of my best bets. We've nailed some of the we nailed the microphone color the one year. Got burned on the microphone screen cover because they used a windscreen and they covered it up. I'm still salty about that one. I will have a lot of singing props next up, but I have not started research. I just need to see what the lines are. And normally, what happens is when they do their first rehearsal, that's when you see a ton of line movement and kind of can get you in the right direction. But I will commence with all the deep dives on YouTube for all these singing props, which are a lot of fun.
Andy,
So
all I know is I'm taking the weirdest one you come up with. The weirdest one that
okay.
you have, I'm betting because I know it's going to be the most like, okay, he's got information, he's looked at it. Whatever one sounds the weirdest, I'll tell you on for sure.
All right. Well,
If Giselle is in the audience and we find out if she's showing cleavage or not for some reason, then I'll bet it. I mean, it sounds like you have a good information on that.
yeah, they have some great ones. Like and you guys talked about shopping around. A lot of these websites will have completely different props that no other website will have. I mean, there's one website in particular, and I'll go over it next week, where there will be like, will they show this person, in will they show this person in on camera? And it's like, well, you can look them up on Instagram, and there they are taking pictures. They're in like Thailand. It's like, I don't think they're going to be in the stadium. So, so you can take no, they're not going to be on camera. That's the other great one is will so and so like uh, make a surprise appearance during the halftime show. That's another one you can follow on social media and find out where that person is. If they're hosting a Super Bowl party, in Cozumel, Mexico party, they're probably not going to make a surprise appearance. So there's ways that we can go about all of these novelty props. I have to see what they are, but rest assured, I will not give out any novelty props that I don't believe in and that I haven't researched properly. So we will absolutely tackle those. So. And Matt, I want to just come to you real quick. One more thing, and then we'll get to the propsies. Injuries is obviously a really big thing, and I see in the chat we've been talking about it. You know Philly better than just about anybody. Eagles outside of Lane Johnson and the Jalen Hurts, but they have 2 weeks to prepare. Injury list looks pretty good for the Eagles. This might be one of the biggest advantages they have. Correct?
Yeah, it looks like it's all systems go. And the interesting thing is, and look, I actually think there might be some value this year on the punting props because if Aaron Sipos goes, there might be some value on his unders. I mean, he has been a poor punter this year. Brett Kern's been pretty bad too. Tommy Townsend is very good. So, like any sort of Tommy Townsend versus Brett Kern or Aaron Sipos props, I would lean towards Tommy Townsend. But yeah, the Eagles are all 22, and the Chiefs. Look, I think we saw yesterday what Mecole Hardman's not playing, or at least they don't think he's going to play. Juju may not be 100%, so that'll be rather interesting. That's why we're not seeing a lot of the Chiefs players in the receiving yards. We're seeing Kelsey. Noah Gray might get some value if some of these guys are out. I liked Justin Watson last week. He obviously had an illness. That's the second time I bet on a guy who wasn't active. Thanks a lot for that one, Justin, for getting sick last week. But I think there could be some value with some of these other guys for Kansas City because if Juju's not 100%, you might be looking down the line a little bit at these receivers.